time for Nerdgasm.
Hey, what's up guys? Jerry here, aka Barnacles, and I'm over here at Xaqaria's house. This is his little garage slash makerspace, and today we're gonna be taking these two galvanized metal buckets, turning them into aluminum forges. One little guy and one big guy. Stay tuned. So guys, once we get these forges built, we have a lot of aluminum cans, and we're gonna melt these down with the expectation of just making ingots to start out with. But at some point, we'll probably make something useful, maybe like CNC some stuff, 3D print some things. All right, guys, well, we originally got the idea from Mr. Grant Thompson. The channel is The King of Random. Check him out. We're gonna actually take his same basic design and just play with it a little bit. All right, guys, well, to do this project, you're gonna need a couple of items. To start out with, you're gonna need one of two buckets, either a small one if you want a little aluminum can forge, or a big one if you want a, I don't know, large aluminum can forge. You will also need two plastic pots to serve as the inserts for these guys. So this goes in here like this to create the indentation between the plaster and sand to create the thermal barrier. Next, you're gonna need a shallow pot that's roughly smaller than the inside of your pot to make a lid for it. You're gonna need some D-bolts. But the truth is, you could use just about anything. We're gonna set these in so that you can easily lift the basically like concrete plaster lid off the thing. You're gonna need play sand. Now make sure it's not silica sand, because if it is, it's gonna melt and you're gonna have a bad day. So same stuff that your cat likes to pee in out in your front yard. You're gonna need a bag of plaster of Paris. This stuff's kind of nasty though, but we mix this with the sand to create that thermal barrier. You're gonna need a 1-inch diameter threaded steel pipe. Now we actually got one that was 3 foot long that we could cut in half to use for both of our designs, but realistically you only need a short piece. You're gonna need a 1-inch to 2-inch PVC coupler that you're gonna put on here. And the reason for this is you have to put a sleeve on it to connect to a shop vacuum, and you're gonna use the shop vacuum to provide the air blowing into the forge, which really heats it up and allows it to melt stuff quickly. And for your heat source, you're just gonna need a good old bag of charcoal briquettes, because between these charcoal briquettes and the air that we're forcing into the chamber, this thing's gonna be able to melt anything. Well, aluminum at least. Oh yeah, and you probably should invest in a pair of welding gloves, because it's gonna get really, really hot. And just in case you have to sell your wife on the project, pick yourself up just a little grate like this, because then you can tell her it's like a hibachi and it'll cook steaks and hot dogs and stuff. I mean, that's not what we're probably gonna use it for, but I mean, it'll probably sell her on it. Let's do this! Well, unfortunately, we were not able to find an insert bucket for our largest forge that doesn't have drain holes in the bottom of it. So we're gonna go ahead and just tape it up with some of this, whatever it is, flex, aluminum. That looks like duct tape. Duct tape. We're just gonna call it duct tape. Now the reason I'm making the bucket watertight is because I'm actually gonna be using this bucket to pour the lid for the smaller forge, and using one of these as the insert for the larger forge. Bad tape! Bad tape! Bad tape! It is bad tape. Now if you forget this step and you don't tape the bucket and it has holes in the bottom, you're gonna have a bad day, because as soon as you sink it into the big bucket that contains the actual sand and plaster of Paris, it's all just gonna leak up through the bottom. All right, so now we gotta figure out how much of the ingredients to mix together to build the thermal barrier. So what we're doing is we're taking our bucket here, because we're not mathematicians, so we're gonna figure this out the manual way. We're gonna take this bucket, put it in the bigger bucket, and then over here I'm gonna have Jason fill water. Why don't you go ahead and do that right now? We're gonna pour in some water. Now remember, I did tape up the bottom of the bucket. All right, pour it in there. Oh yeah, pour it good. All right. Okay, good. We're taking on a little water, but
we're actually leaking water.
You're where, out of the bucket?
Yeah, this is obviously an ash bucket.
Okay, we probably should have made sure the bucket held water, but that's okay.
Back here. Okay, lift that out.
All right, so now, that's how much material we need. Dump that back in there. It's okay if you like lose half a gallon in the process. It's all good. All right, so while the water was in the bucket, we went ahead and put some marks on the bucket. Now we didn't use a ruler, we just kept folding a piece of rope in half, but if you got a ruler, you can use it. Just basically mark it off into 8 even increments down there, because we're gonna do 3 parts sand to 3 parts plaster Paris to 2 parts water. And then that should give us exactly the volume we need. Look, we did all that without using really any math. Lols! All right, for this segment of the show, we are gonna have Mr. Xaqaria over there demonstrate pouring ingredients into a bucket. All right, sudden change of plans. He has moved from the plaster of Paris to the sand because it's heavier and he wants to pour it first. I don't know why. All right, let's see it. Show me them pour skills. Oh yeah, dump it in there. Not too fast, not too fast. Treat her like a lady. I would like to state for the record that we are absolute amateurs at this, and this is just a project. All right, on to the plaster of Paris. All right, boss, you confident in your measurements? Okay, whatever. Just put the plaster of Paris in there. All right, so we ready to add some water now?
There we are. We got the water and the mix, and the pot we're putting in, and the insert all ready.
Yeah, make sure you have everything ready because this takes about 15 minutes to set up. It's not a lot of time considering most of that's going to be mixing.
Exactly. Do you have your stir sticks ready?
I do. They're right here.
Woohoo! All right.
Okay, we to the line?
We to the line.
All right, this is where I get to shine. All right. Ooh. Oh, plaster of Paris feels nasty. Oh, this feels grody.
So
Cold too. Why didn't you give me warm water? Jeez. I see why he says get the lumps out of it though. All right, you might want to use slightly warmer water because my hand is like frozen. Whoa. All right, the material is set up a little bit. It's like gelatin. So I'm gonna have him pour it into here and I'm gonna push the bucket down and then we're gonna fill it right up to the edge. Then we're filling this bucket with water to weight it. Theoretically.
This is the splashy part.
Yep. I think we might have. Oh, that stuff sets up quick.
Okay, you said once you get it in there, that's just a couple, 4 minutes.
Yep.
All right, see you in an hour.
All right, at this point, I would like to request that something heavy be put in the bucket so I don't have to sit here for 15 minutes. Go! All right. Now we're just holding the bucket until it sets up a little bit. I think it's Dan. All right. Yes. All right, so the inner bucket is now full of water. We kind of got a little over the edge here. We're not being very professional, are we? Mm-hmm. But pizza came and we got ahead of ourselves. But at any rate, I think it'll be okay. We did learn a cool lesson though. Notice how it's taller on that side than it is on that side. Yeah, apparently garage floors are not level. Who knew? All right, so we just dumped all the water out of our bucket. So you can see in here, because we let it set up for probably about 45 minutes. I'm thinking about, we don't know, we completely lost track of time. But now that it's hard, we're gonna go ahead and pull out the plastic bucket using these guys, jaws. Piece at a time, I don't care. All right, so if given the option, you should probably buy a bucket that's not hard plastic, but soft plastic, like a sand pail. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a nightmare to get out of there. But as you can see, we pulled it out of the hole.
Ladies.
Okay, now that I got that out of my system, we have a nice orifice. God, seriously? Oh my God, mine's in the gutter today. Anyways, we have I give up. All right, so the next step that we have here is we have to drill a hole through the side all the way in through the wall, and that's where we're gonna place the pipe to deliver the air. So I gotta get this at about a 30-degree angle, so we're just gonna guess.
Hey, dude.
All right, I'm through. What?
That's your spitting shit at me?
Oops. All right, that's probably better. Now I won't get sued.
Exactly.
Come on. Aw, damn it. Glad this isn't my forge.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Let me know I'm through.
You're through.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget to clean out the hole saw. These things are kind of expensive. All right, so we had a cool idea for the big one. We could use it as a barbecue too. So we got this little grate. Now we're gonna angle grind some holes to hold it in place so it doesn't move around like this. Make it so. All right, guys, well, in order to make a crucible so we can melt our metal, we have to have a steel cup. So we're gonna go ahead and use this old fire extinguisher, but we gotta drain it first.
Whoa.
Whoa, that was a little bit more than I was expecting.
There you go. Okay.
Wow, the range on that thing.
Yeah, so go ahead and... Hey, Devin, come over here.
Get it.
Here, you wanna try it?
Yep.
All right, Devin's gonna show us how it's done. Spray it over there. Whoa.
Oh, that is just really strong kick.
So aim down a
That's
bit.
cool.
I got the down.
Here, spray it. Whoa! Like, how does that even work? Whoa!
Ow.
Oh! That's nuts. All right, well, now we got powder all over ourselves. Let's go cut it up. Oh, yeah, I should probably note at this point, make sure the fire extinguisher is empty before doing this. Otherwise, you'll be completely covered in powder. All right, you ready? Do it. All right, well, last night we got tired and rushed the batch that we used on this one. So unfortunately, it's a little bit soft. You can see I can just rub my finger through it. That's not good. That's what happens if you don't mix the right sand to plaster Paris water ratio. And then the lid broke because it was too soft. So don't think it's fragile. If you do it right, it won't be. We didn't do it right. But the big crucible turned out good. Well, I just leaned on it and it fell into the pot. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. All right, so we went ahead and put some coals in there just to heat it up and get some of the liquid out of the mixture, and just so we don't have an explosion on our hands. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some charcoals, I think, right?
Yep.
Add some charcoals, get the shop vac blowing on there, get it nice and hot, and then we're gonna stick our makeshift crucible in there and see if this all kind of works. All right, we're putting the briquettes in right now. We went ahead and put down loose paper first. We're gonna light that so that it gets the briquettes going. These don't have any lighter fluid or anything at this point. We might have to use some, but then we're gonna put the shop vac on there to blow into there and hopefully expedite the process. All right, so we got our shop vac here. We're just using the exhaust port running over here, and then we're gonna run into our coupler, and hopefully we'll end up with fire. We'll find out here. Starting to look like a crucible here, isn't it?
It is.
You blow air in there and it really accelerates the process. Whoa! Okay. Okay, no, that we did that on purpose. Didn't we? Nod yes. Okay, there we go. Good. Okay, yeah, be careful with the shop vac. If you introduce too much air before the fire goes away, you may have an explosion. Oh, I can feel the heat off that over here. All right, we're gonna put half a lid in there because we only have half a lid to hopefully keep so many sparks from flying out of here. I was just asked if we actually have a fire extinguisher out here, and the answer is no, because we just destroyed it to make a crucible.
Well, we kind of have one,
Yeah, I mean, we technically have a fire extinguisher. Technically. Wow, air makes all the difference. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is hot. You could roast some weenies on that. All right, so I'd say we got a pretty good grip on this, right? We know what we're doing.
Sure.
I want to go on record and just say, for liability purposes, don't try this at home. I don't care what the King of Random said. This is kind of dangerous. I've already been burned a whole bunch of times. But if you just happen to do it of your own accord and it had nothing to do with us or any kind of suggestion, that's on you, bro. That's on you.
Notice we're not at his house.
Yeah, actually, we were doing this at Xaqaria's house because this was even a little too dangerous for the Nerd Cave garage. And let's be honest, Miss Barnacle never would have agreed to this. No.
I just didn't tell my wife what we were doing.
All right, so we have the crucible in there. Look at the flames, dude. That's like, pull the hose away just to show them. That's the hose from the shop vac. Look, we just have a barbecue right now. Now watch, plug the hose in. The hose is what turns it from a barbecue into a forge.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Now, hopefully we didn't make the wall too thin and the bucket doesn't catch fire, but, whoa, okay, here, stand back. Stand back.
All right, we're getting the label and paint to burn.
Yeah, it's gonna burn off. We got lots of sparks right now. That's just the label burning off of the crucible. Look at it just melting the paint off that sucker. Whoa.
Oh, I definitely saw that.
Yep, the crucible's red. Pull the hose, pull the hose. I think we're actually getting near the melting point of the steel.
Oh.
Yeah, just let it do that. All right, we're pulling the hose. We think it might have got a little too hot because look at the crucible is glowing. And we don't want the crucible to melt because that's gonna be a bad day. I'm trying to control the temperature best I can. I think the forge will get too hot if we just leave it on there with no air restriction.
Yeah.
This is insane. No, there it goes.
Oh, yeah,
We're good, there it goes. Another can.
wow, that's fast.
Yeah, it is. This faster than I thought it would go. I just realized our spoon isn't gonna fit in there for getting the crap off. I don't think. We'll see. You put that thing in there all the way and it's like this thing with like, you can forge swords with this.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yep, drop them in there.
Eventually all the cans are gonna
You can tell that's with no airflow. It's just basically a big barbecue. Then you add the air, and it turns into a forge. Yep. All right, drop another can.
You want to see these get all the way melted down?
That's what I'm trying. Yeah.
Oh, quit sticking the next one in.
Yep.
We're not going to stick another one in. We want these all to melt.
Burn.
Oh no.
Burn cans, burn!
Burn cans, burn. Drop them in there. Whoa, easy.
You're gonna burn!
Stuff's exploding. Are you stirring it?
Yeah.
Is it melting your stir stick?
Yes.
This is perfect.
The
for
stir
a
stick
fire.
is getting shorter?
This is perfect
little bit,
for a
yes.
This is
fire.
good.
Well, the stir stick is pretty lightweight.
Well, yeah, it is aluminum as well. Yeah, look, it's going down.
Yeah, look, it's pressing the stir stick down. It's going down. Just don't press too hard because I bet you the bottom's pretty soft.
Yeah, maybe that's what the problem is.
All right, zooming out. All right. Wow, look at that. That is cool.
Yeah, there you go. Good,
Whoa.
good. Okay, next one.
Woo, wee.
Oh,
Wow.
so that is a part of something we need to probably get rid of.
It's very hot. See that? That is liquid aluminum. We didn't count the cans, but I bet you that's probably good, what, 15, 20 cans?
It was probably
10 maybe?
no, it was about 30 cans.
Looks like most of the imperfections went into the second pour, if
Yeah.
you look, which is good. So that tells you when you're pouring it, the imperfections like to float up towards the top and the liquid on the bottom comes out. That's great. Don't try this at home. Don't do it. Just don't leave it to the stupid people. Woo! That is so hot. Okay, we're gonna dump off the impurities. That's not aluminum, that is just garbage. All right, let's see what our aluminum biscuit looks like. You watching this? Okay, see this? We're gonna try to drop it out. Okay, that did not work.
Whoa.
He bent the cake then.
Come on.
It's still hot.
Oh, there's
No, there's one.
Hey, Jeff.
There's two.
Now, those are still hot, guys.
Yeah, do not touch these. There is a,
Quick way to cool it
that's an aluminum ingot right there. That's awesome. Okay, so now we finished sanding it a little bit. Now we're gonna use some steel wool and see if we can actually polish it to a little bit of a mirror-like finish. I love steel wool. Look at that. It's like,
That is awesome.
I mean, it's a little bit pitted.
Well, but-
and I think that's mostly just from the impurities or the cool. Maybe we should have preheated the pan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, light bulb.
Right above you.
Light bulb right there. I might even edit one in if I'm not feeling lazy.
Light bulb.
Ding.
Light bulb.
You are a bulb.
Uh-huh.
So far, our bucket isn't showing any stress. No signs of heat deformation, so the thermal barrier is working amazing.
Or big color change.
Yep.
either.
Yeah, no, we're good. And I thought the pipe might have some problems with the fitting, but no, even when we took the air off it, we didn't have enough hot air coming up the pipe to melt the PVC. So this is actually a pretty good design. All right, we're gonna go ahead and blast it one more time here. You wanna look at the molten aluminum down in there? I'm not gonna blast it while you're over. Okay, see it?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and back off. We're gonna get it piping hot. And then once it's piping hot, we're gonna pour this entire pan full of these ingots. Well, as much as we can get out of it. Now we should scrape the imperfections off the top, but unfortunately we don't have a good device that fits down in our crucible because it's such a big crucible, and we're not making a big enough batch yet, but we'll work up to it in future videos.
It's crunching a little bit.
It's okay. Melt it a little more. There it is. Well, I just feel the heat coming off that. Oh, it's boiling the water.
Uh-oh, you lost one of them in there.
Oh, no, it's okay. It'll cool off. It's probably going to melt through the bottom, though.
Yeah, that was the only thing.
Oopsies. Oh, yeah, trash can. Wow, look at the heat coming off that. It's really weird that the impurities, like, aren't the impurities supposed to stay on the top? Why is it when we're pouring them, they're staying stuck to the inside of the canister? That's really weird.
Well, they're probably just getting stuck is probably what's happening, and then everything else is pouring out underneath them.
Yep. All right, the drama's gone. Let's see if they fall out now, because they should have shrunk a little when I cooled them. There they are. Woohoo! Yeah! Safety. All right, here we go. Ready? Tell you what, man, fire extinguisher is the way to go. If you have an old fire extinguisher that you need to get a new one because it's like out of its recharge date or whatever, just go empty it out and make a crucible out of it. It works perfectly. And to be honest, with our big forge, because we upsized it, this isn't the same size as the King of Randoms, it's much bigger. We could probably fit a full-size fire extinguisher in there. So if you guys know of a cool place where we could obtain a full-size fire extinguisher, don't say the fire department because they're probably not going to give us one if they know we're doing this crap with it. But if you know where we can obtain one cheap, like a junkyard or something, let us know down in the comments. All right, so the final magical feature of this forge and how you sell your wife on it is it's actually just a hibachi. See, we just went and got this little grill thing from Home Depot. I think it was like 10 or 11 bucks. And we just cut little gaps in there to hold the grate so it doesn't slide around. We just put our little aluminum things on there for weight. And there's our steak. Let's go ahead and toss her on there. Aw, yeah. Look at that. See? So after you're done melting down all the metal in the house and your wife starts screaming at you, just make her a steak. It'll calm her right down. Isn't that right?
You're cooking.
Isn't that right?
That's right. That's correct.
That's correct.
Yes, if you
Okay.
make the steak for us.
No, that's the goal. We will make the steak for you, except for the times that we don't.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we have been informed that it is not hot enough to cook the steak. So, that's why we have a shop vac. Here we go. You ready? Here we go. This is how you cook a steak. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh. All right.
It's fine.
We're good. We are flame broiling a steak. Getting a little flavoring on there.
Oh yes, exactly.
Just flavoring, guys. Hey, you want to blow it off? All right, so it's gonna have a little ash on it, but that's okay. Charcoal tastes delicious. Super heating the steak. Oh, this is gonna be delicious.
Washing off a little ash.
Just washing off all the ash. That's why it's preferable to do this when it's raining.
It's part of the recipe.
Part of the recipe. All right. Oh, you're sizzling.
Yeah, that's your camera.
I know it's kind of close, huh? Oh yeah, she's getting hot now. What's it say?
Well, it says 530, but that's all the air in between.
On the steak, or?
Yeah, I aimed it right at the steak.
Yeah, let's see your barbecue do that. I don't see a Weber doing that. Yeah, Weber, come at me. Come at me, bro. Now that is a perfectly made steak. Like, you would pay $500 for that steak. at a fancy restaurant, but we just made that for like next to nothing. Isn't that right?
That is right.
Delicious. All right, Jason is ready to cut the steak. Let's see here. All right, let's see how we looking there. That actually looks really good. Look at that.
Nothing with like
All
a
right.
little bit.
All right, let me know if it tastes like ash. Does it taste like aluminum ash? Yeah? All right, I'm gonna have to try this. All right, time for some aluminum steak. Yeah.
Really?
That pretty much tastes like charcoal briquette ash.
Wait, what?
It looks good. Okay, that was basically disgusting. So don't turn the shop vac on when you're cooking steaks. Otherwise, you'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
It was a shop vac.
Maybe turn it on to get it hot, and then turn it on to get it hot.
Yeah.
And then put the steak on after you turn it off.
Yeah, that was a fail.
Or
Or wrap the steak in foil. So we learned a valuable lesson today.
what does the chef now in the house? The chef in the house knows nothing.
It's grody. I want to spit this out. Okay, cut. I'm done. All right, guys. Well, in closing, this was actually a little bit of a harder project than we thought. Mistakes were definitely made. So if you guys are following along step by step, you might want to watch the video all the way to the end. And if you haven't, I guess we'll just apologize. But in a nutshell, the first bucket that we did, which was the large bucket, which is the 6-gallon with the insert, the things that we learned here is you want to be very, very meticulous in mixing the sand, the plaster of Paris, and the water.
Yeah, order definitely makes sense. Got to pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention to order and mix the things in the proper proportion, because we phoned it in on the small one, and it literally is still soft. You can pick it away with your finger, and so that one was pretty much scrap. We're gonna redo that one at a later date. But the big one worked out good. The lids didn't work out. That's why you guys didn't see a lid. We did actually create the lid. It broke, as you guys saw clearly in the video, because it was just too soft, and that was because of a mixture issue. Don't think the material is that weak. It's not. It's actually like cement when you mix it properly. Now, some things that actually surprised us on this was the bucket gets hot, but it doesn't get discolored or deform. And the galvanizing material on the bucket will deform at about 900 degrees. So the bucket was far from getting to that point. We also noticed that the pipe and the collar that we put on it with, about 1.5 feet on it didn't get hot enough that even when the hose wasn't running, we didn't run any risk of melting the plastic insert on the end. So the King of Random nailed it. As far as we just upscaled his design. We added a grill rack. As you can tell, the mistake that we made was when you're blowing through it, it gets ash all over the steak, and the steak was absolutely disgusting. So make sure you wrap your steak in aluminum foil if you're going to do that, or heat it up first, then turn it off and put the steak on there while it's really hot. But I will tell you what, blowing the air into the coals, I quadrupled it. I mean, it was insane. Like, you looked in there and it was just like hell. I mean, it was like, that's the best way I could describe it. Those charcoal briquettes got so hot. And the fire extinguisher worked fantastic as a crucible. And we actually have, we created 5 total ingots, and they actually do polish up good. And most of the impurities actually kind of worked themselves out. Even though we didn't scrape them off the top, we noticed when we poured them, the last little bit out of the bottom contained the big sludge of impurities. Yeah. So honestly, you probably want to scrape the impurities off the top if you can get a big enough vessel. We didn't have a means of doing that, but it still worked itself out. We actually ended up with some really, really cool little aluminum biscuits, and there's quite a bit of weight there. I was surprised. So if we could do this project over, what would you do differently?
Actually measure all of the material.
Measure all the material, not just get tired and start dumping bags in, which is what we ended up doing. We did actually destroy a couple of plastic buckets in the process, because once you mix all the ingredients, you need to get that stuff poured quick. It sets up really quick. Like, it'll be soupy, and then all of a sudden, and don't worry about the light there, it just went out. But it gets really, really soupy, and then you're like, oh, we got tons of time. And then literally 2 minutes later, it's solid. So
yeah, we tried to mix 3 things at once: the small bucket and the 2 lids.
Yeah.
We poured the small bucket, and then in the time we were waiting for that to set, it was too long.
Yeah. So we did go through an entire bag of charcoal briquettes, but a lot of that was putting them in and getting the thing heat treated and everything. We wanted to make sure it wouldn't blow up on us. So we took it slow before we actually started melting down any aluminum. But you will notice that, if you do produce a lot of heat and some of it, we do have some cracks forming. Nothing to worry about. Didn't change any of the heat dispersion. If you do put a lid on it, it is going to actually work better, and you're going to burn through less of the charcoal. But I was shocked at how hot it was getting it. Ooh, whoa, we almost got dumped on water here. We're under an awning, and it's been raining all day. But anyways, definitely this isn't something you want to accidentally dump water in or anything like that. It definitely is an explosion hazard.
Yes, it is.
The thing gets unbelievably hot. The crucible that we were putting in there that was steel was almost melting itself.
Oh, yeah.
We had to take the hose out multiple times because having the constant air blowing into it from the shop vac was becoming dangerous. Yeah. I mean, it was literally like, you guys might have saw the picture that I posted on Instagram. I mean, the thing was an inferno, and it was getting downright scary at times. So guys, make sure if you do stuff like this, take incremental steps. Don't just throw a bunch of charcoal briquettes in there, hook up your thing, and walk away from it. I mean, this is a very, very dangerous thing that needs to be respected. And I'd say that's probably the most important thing that I want to say about this video. Is this thing is a lot more dangerous than I expected, but oh my gosh, does it do a great job. I mean, we took a bunch of aluminum cans, labels and all, and just chucked them into the crucible, and now we have just a ton of aluminum ingots that if we wanted to, we could remelt and reform into anything we want. And this thing actually melts remarkably fast.
It does.
That was another thing we were pretty shocked about, is we thought that melting aluminum would be like, 15 minutes or 20 minutes of have. No, you put the cans in there. When you got the air blowing, I mean, they just sink. You guys saw them. They just sink right in there. And it's pretty mind-blowing. But there you guys have it. All you need is a bag of sand, a bag of plaster of Paris, a big enough bucket to put it in, a small enough plastic, or I'd prefer like a more rubbery type bucket to do as the insert, a hole saw to drill through the side and shove a pipe in with a collar that fits a hairdryer, leaf blower. I probably wouldn't do a leaf blower. That's probably, if you do a leaf blower, it's probably just going to turn into thermite and explode. But shop vac works really good and everything like that. Experiment around, but I'm completely impressed with how inexpensive it is to build a forge. And you could totally use a bigger version like this for heating blades, like on knives. Yeah. You could heat a blade in there if you wanted and hammer it. We don't have an anvil, otherwise we totally would have done that dangerous thing for you. So anyways, I'll wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give us a like down below. Check out my other videos and subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to see us do more stuff with the forge, let me know. We definitely will. One of the things we would love to do is actually get a hold of an anvil and a hammer and see if we can actually fold some cheap metal from Home Depot, like buy a strip of steel and fold it and make like a Japanese metal blade using only this forge, because it's fairly deep. So you can make like a knife blade and something like this, but I don't see why you couldn't scale this up taller with a taller bucket and make something that you could stick a whole sword down in there. The only thing that you'd have to worry about is positioning the charcoal around. Like maybe go get like a heavy steel cage, like a tool hardened steel cage, and put it in there to hold the briquettes back. I'd love to see somebody experiment around with that, but you could use it for forging knives. You can use it for melting down aluminum. I mean, this thing's awesome. So, lots of fun and pretty damn scary. So guys, it's been a blast. I think you and I are pretty worn out after 2 days playing with this project, and we really hope it was entertaining for you guys, because we were giggling like schoolgirls all day watching this thing just billow in flames out of the top of it. I mean, danger, danger, Will Robinson. All right, guys, take it easy. Till next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. Also, come over to Twitter. I'm @Barnacles. I'm a real social guy. Also, if you have a couple of minutes, check out some of these many other videos. I made them myself.